like getting Leafeon off the board just in general is nice, but that getting it off of the board for V1 is going to be important. But here we are. We are in pick ban. The playoffs are now officially starting, Kyle.
Yeah, first bans are going to be coming. Well, I guess second bans. First official in-game ban is going to be Blastoise on the side of V1. And looks like Keyblades is kind of shifting up to ban this Buzzwole. Oh, we saw this so many times. This Buzzwole ban, it's such a strong all-rounder. And it doesn't look like Keyblades wants to have that on the board right now.
Yeah, and V1 also targeting Candle and taking away the Decidueye as well is pretty big. But if this Trevenant ban goes... Okay, never mind. It's not a Trevenant ban. I was just about to say that. But Venusaur also being taken away here, I really do like. Really just removes one of those characters that you can pick a little bit earlier to flex around either between the jungle or that bottom position. But draft is going as we've normally seen it. Crustle first pick yet again. Man, how broken is Crustle?
How broken is Crustle indeed? Again, we're seeing that taken off the board first. I mean, we saw it so many times today. Whether it was first or second round of it, but it looks like Keyblades is going to combat that with that Pika Lapras. We haven't seen a ton of Lapras, but what we saw today with the Lapras, it seemed like a really strong pick.
Yeah, I really just do think the nerfs that Lapras did see were things to bring it more in line with a defender and kind of decrease its damage from being a defender carry to more of a defender Blastoise. Just that little tune of damage really just I feel like pushed people away from the pick, but it's still a really awesome choice, especially when you need something to get into a backline as dedicated as Lox is.
Absolutely. Got that Metagross coming off the board too. I don't see a ton of them, but it's still a pretty strong all-rounder, maybe a potential jungler if they don't decide to split the jungle between the EVs. Oh, and what do you mean? Do we have a bird? We got a bird. We got a Talonflame last pick on the side of Keyblades to go along with their double defender comp. And even that Pikachu, I'm taking a look. I'm seeing what Keyblades is trying to do, and I think they're cooking here.
Oh yeah, I absolutely do think they're cooking. Pika has plenty of range to get to reach all of these characters on the side of V1. And I do believe with the full heal and the item setup that is going to be a Scyther on the top side for Marigold. And going for this double defender draft is actually super interesting. I really do like that, bringing the Snorlax to kind of help cover for the little weak early game that Scyther has will really help. And then Pikachu will be there as well. Talonflame going to be really doing a great job on getting to that back line.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. Teams are locked and loaded. We are getting ready for game number 1, round 1 of this top 8 tournament of the Articuno Unite League, season number 5. Top 8 teams here. We got the 4 versus 5, version 1, Keyblades Unite. Let's get it on.
Absolutely. Let's get it going. I feel like the X factor of this game is going to be this Metagross pick from Silent. Because they have a little bit of an interesting job. There's no real true target to dive on the side of Keyblades Unite. So the V1 going for this evolution split jungle yet again is going to be super interesting, and we'll see what Silent exactly does on this pick. They're probably going to be playing more of closer to their team instead of trying to look for that Metagross flank and being more of that Suedo defender.
Absolutely. Crystal is online already. Even before these 850 birds, that's going to be absolutely massive for Rustic and Liko down here in this bot path. Pikachu going with that Thunder build you could still see a Volt Tackle here, but it's very likely that they'll go that pure mage build. Looks like Silent R is going to try to grab this back Baltoy before these 850 birds. Locke is up here along with with 3 members on the side of Keyblades, and these birds are hitting the map. Actually, 4 people come down. We actually have a little bit of an exchange here. Scyther is going to be going down, and I don't think that they're done. Liko comes in, tries to throw that Psyshock. We got a Shedinja doll from this Talonflame, but Talonflame gets weighted out and gets KO'd there really early here. Good first engage by V1.
Yeah, and it's a very classic Hoopa play to send 4 people top. And Rustic does seem like they still caught a little bit of a farm, all things regardless. So keeping in tune with that Lapras, even though they are 1v2 in lane. And Marigold actually does go for the scissor here. That's going to be super interesting to see, especially since Mari is still running that attack weight along with that Razor Claw. So they're going to be a really big nuisance to things, especially like this Pikachu.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough for Pikachu unless Pikachu get a little bit of a front line going. Oh, we got also a Sweet Kiss, or a Draining Kiss, sorry, on this Sylveon. We got another Shedinja doll, gets weighted out by the Crustle. Crustle gets that final KO. Mari's going absolutely dangerously low. 2 KO streak for this Matang that has now cleared the central birds, and level 7 here for Silent R. That's actually a pretty good start here for this Metagross, who you really want to get online as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Mari pilots the scissor. It definitely wasn't something I was expecting. It's going to see we're going to see how they go with the full heal, but Candle's actually going for the Brave Bird here as well. Super interesting move choices coming from both sides at the moment. Darren does go for that Thunderbolt, which is going to be really interesting to see. I thought they might elect more for the Volt Tackle moveset, mainly to help try to lock down this Metagross, especially when they're trying to land a nice Meteor Mash in on your backline, really trying to keep things safe. But if Keyblades Unites, Pikachu can land a bunch of CC, it'll be really interesting to see. Nice Psychic Solaire there from Liko to really seal that team fight, and V1 takes his bottom objective 3-0.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. It looked like they were a little bit late to rotating, but when you have a Hoopa, it kind of gives you a little bit of grace right there. Metagross is now fully online, level 9, going to have access to that Compute and Crush. Sylveon, even though they were down there for this objective, they didn't even have to waste their Fairy Frolic on that objective, so they're going to be able to have that for this top objective if they do elect to push it. But here we go, at 6-minute mark, 54-36, slight advantage over to the side of V1, who's now getting a nice flame sweep, but the Compute and Crush Thunderdome stops Candle from leaving.
Yeah, and then there is the Fairy Frolic from Locke right there, and Keyblades Unite has to run for the hills. Really excellent Compute and Crush there from Silent to kind of lock, no pun intended, Keyblades United in with Locke right there to really set the damage. And unfortunately, with that Brave Bird going in, there was really no option for Candle to get out there.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary there if you're a bird and you get stuck in the dome. But we got a nice big engage here. Psychic Solaire out again from Liko. Helps knock up most of Keyblades Unite. 2 members down there. Might be a third with this scissor. Snorlax grabs a little bit of a dunk here, but Pikachu also going down. And I think they're just delaying the inevitable because Snorlax is taking a little bit of a power nap here, and they might just walk right on away from this engage. Liko a little bit short on the Psyshock, but Farron is trying to run to the Flux Zone, grabbing a berry, make it 2 before this next objective engage. 10 seconds until this next basement objective. That top Lecky, not even touched at all, Ribbon.
Yeah, it doesn't look like either team is really interested in going after that Lecky. Free win with that power nap right there, looking like me after War on Thea today, because I needed it, and gets out of there safely. A lot of Unites being popped here. The Rubble Rouser right there from from Rustic, locking up 2 members right there. Mari seeming to be a little bit struggling on the scissor pick right now, but I really can't blame them because their only true target is Silent, because Locke is hip-hop dipping around like the Cinder Ace spirit they are on this mystical fire, and it's looking like Keyblades United is having a really hard time locking the Sylveon down.
Yeah, absolutely. No pun intended indeed, but it actually looks like they're gonna go ahead and just rip the Regieleki. They brought the team all the way up to the top path with the Hoopa Unite, brought the rings unbound, and then Hoopa goes right back to Confine, brings the team back down from the hyperspace highway, and now they can potentially push this Regirock if they do so choose. But this Snorlax is trying to monitor the situation and kind of monitor to see if they can maybe get a sneaky steal here.
Yeah, the thing is about this V1 roster is they've got a lot of snip-snapping, sliding with their team fight, but not a lot of objective burn. A lot of their casts outside of this Espeon are more of that, like, low DPS, sustained damage, also outside of Silence Meteor Mash. So when it comes to objective burning, V1 really doesn't have the best priority. So I'm really liking that the positioning that this Snorlax is taking, just sitting and observing and making sure that then when the time comes, Keyblades Unite can pull the trigger. Unfortunately, right now, it does look like the game is in V1's control, but Keyblades Unite is not too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Hoopa player, you're pretty happy that all your goals are still up here at the 230 mark, especially Rayquaza is going to be coming into the fray here in 30 seconds in this double time. Oh, yeah, I mean, they're sitting pretty nicely. I mean, you look at across the levels along the board, you have 2 level 13s, which is scaling a little bit higher than really anything that Keyblades is bringing to the table. So you got to be pretty happy with how this game has gone so far if you're version 1.
Yeah, version 1 has had really excellent macro control in this game and have kind of been yanking Keyblades by the chain. I feel like this Talon pick is really gonna have to find a perfectly opportune backline dive to get on top of this Espeon, because Lico's been a really big problem with these Psychic Solaires that they've been landing.
Absolutely. But here we go. Rayquaza has entered the fray. We are going to have a little bit of engage. Sylveon does lock on with that Draining Kiss onto the Scissor. Mari does go down just a little bit. Red Illusion dive. Psychic Solaire both get spent here. Espeon goes down. We have a Flame Charge in classic Talon. Talonflame goes right into a wall, and they're going to be going down. 2 members down for Keyblades Unite. The Snorlax might be next because they go down to a huge Psyshock from Hoopa, and that's a clean sweep for version 1. KO Streak of 2 for the Sylveon, and they are gonna rip it and grip it and rip it, this Rayquaza, and oh, that's gonna be huge for them right now.
Oh wait, okay, I thought Rustic went down there for a second, but I did not see the hyperspace hole underneath the Rayquaza, but Keyblades United, unfortunately, was just not able to really get this Talonflame or this Scissor online. Mari was having a good swing of things right there in that Rayquaza L on the side of version 1, but once Silent came in with the Compute and Crush and the Meteor Mash combo, Scissor really couldn't keep their 1 HP and a Dream alive. So, back to the drawing board, it does look like Keyblades Unite is going to head here, and V1 is sitting pretty at the moment.
Yeah, 638-66 will likely be your final unless they could get a couple more scores in, which they very well may. That's exactly what they do. I think Keyblades Unite sees the writing on the wall. They're just going to hang out at base and kind of regroup for this game number 2, because like we said, version 1 taking game number 1 here in this Articuno League playoffs tournament of season 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Keyblades United is using that time to just definitely talk about what happened that game and their future plans for this next part in the set, because wow, what a commandeering performance right there from version 1, Locke really made maximum use of their mystical fires to play around this Talonflame, jumping out of dives, jumping out of scissor bullet punches, and even jumping out of Snorlax heavy slams. So Locke really showed up today, and Silent is looking as strong as ever. And with Liko on their roster at the moment, it's just looking like it was just another day at the office here for V1.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking really strong here. A couple of 70,000 damage across the board on Locke, Silent, and Liko. Big damage numbers. And then you saw Wailord just continuously resetting the teams, especially when you kind of have some tanky damage dealers. The Hoopa just becomes infinitely more important. And then you throw on the fact that Keyblades really couldn't take any of the main base or any of the tier 1 bases. I mean, you're just playing right into the strengths of V1 in that match, and I think that's exactly what you saw right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, this Pikachu really just could not find any good Thunderbolt combos because the initial blows might land, but everyone on V1 pretty mobile, all things considering. Even the Metagross was able to slide out of some of those Pika combos. So Keyblades Unite definitely going to need to find some different answers here. Wailord honestly looking like it was just like it's super easy because I feel like just all Whaley was doing was really just setting down portals for the rest of V1 to succeed. So I feel like in this setup, Keyblades Unite is definitely going to need to look for something. I feel like honestly, Mari could have gone for the Scyther here. Really just getting a little bit more mobile, something that might have been able to stick better onto Locke. But I like what I feel about Mystical Fire Sylveon is like once it gets online and especially once it gets ahead, it's a really hard thing to exactly pin down. And Keyblades Unite outside of that Pikachu Thunderbolt combo really didn't have any true CC to bring to the table. So Locke was just really able to just go and hip hop away.
Trying to see. You can side with me. That's fine. I don't know why you're trying to switch into the main. I'm just having fun with Rustic, who wanted to switch into admin. All right, looks like Keyblades is gonna stick to the bot side, so luckily for me, I don't have to change anything with the overlays. Nice. That always makes me happy. Less work on my side. Version 1 takes game number 1. That is updated. I'm just talking out loud right now, but we're gonna be getting back into this game number 2. Both teams are set and in position. We got some bans that are going to be coming through here shortly. Looks like V1 is going to take Slowbro off the map once again. So no Slowbro will be able to be played by either team.
Yeah, and I really do like this Slowbro ban coming out of V1 because I always say it has like the Clefable effect, right? Where Clefable in just the threat of picking that gravity really does like waylay any sort of dive presence. And I feel like Slowbro has done the same exact thing. Not only like does it look for really good engages with that surf, but that slow beam pretty much makes one member of the enemy team unable to play the game. So regardless of who you are, slow beam will always find you. So I really do like that this ban coming out here from V1, and Keyblades Unite is still going to stick to their guns with this Leafeon out of game ban.
I mean, can't go wrong either of the two. Leafeon obviously has just an amazing secure. It scales very early. It could be pretty oppressive. I'm gonna let them know that. Ready, casters. Here's ready. Perfect. Casters are ready. Yeah, I mean, and like you said, Slowbro, just unless there's a change to Slow Beam, Slowbro will always be on the table as potentially viable. You take that to the bank. It's a move that's just universally good, regardless of the meta state. Unless they change something to that, it's potentially viable in any team comp, I think.
Yeah, not only that, but also just the fact that Slowbro, with expert presses of that amnesia, can really just become an absolutely unkillable demon, like we see Trevenant nowadays. So it'll be interesting to see what Keyblades Unite's pivots to here, because V1's sticking to this Blastoise ban.
Yeah, Blastoise, another. We're just gonna see a rerun here. I feel like I'm in deja vu. Blastoise, we got the Slowbro, the Leafeon, the Blastoise, and now the Buzzwole. So all the same bands. It looks like V1 is gonna stick with the Decidueye. This is almost identical, with the exception of Keyblades trying to take away that Hoopa. And honestly, Ribbon, I think that's a really great call on the side of Keyblades right now.
Yeah, I do agree. Waylord was making it look a little too easy with those portal resets for V1, and it's really hard to kill targets that are almost always at full HP and can just get away underneath the trick and pull of Whaley. So getting this Hoopa off the board is something that I really do like. Keyblades Unite locking in this Venusaur along with the Trevenant to bring to the table. So it's interesting to see how V1 adapts, and it looks like Liko is going to be sticking to this Espeon.
I mean, Espeon's just so good. It offers a lot of utility. You can use it in both ways. You can use it with that Psyshock build. You could use it with stored power. Either way, like Psybeam offers an amazing secure. Psyshock offers a double secure. I mean, it's just a strong Pokemon. The Unite move is impactful. It's impactful that you get at level 8. Like, there's something to say about all these EVs. They're all very good in their own regard. But that said, I mean, you look at Keyblades going with that Snorlax again, and then Mari going back onto that Scissor. I think it'll probably stay Scissored once again, considering we do see that full heal on it. But looking at V1, we got a Delphox. This is the first Delphox we'll see tonight.
And some first A9 as well coming out from Darin there. This Venusaur is more than likely going to Candle on the jungle. And Keyblade, this Scissor pick is still going to have a little bit of trouble, I feel like. Even though it might be able to get a little bit easier on top of Lock, Lock still might have access to those fire spins. That's going to make Mari's life a little bit more miserable because those fire spins are going to be really critical to shutting down exactly what Scissor wants to do. It's going to be some really necessary full heals that Mari is going to need to bring to get on top of Lock and shut them down.
Yeah, I mean, I think Scissors, ever since the buff, Scissor and Scyther have been seeing a lot more play. I think they're still very good. Scyther, I think, is maybe a little bit better at what it does. But I mean, I don't think it's a bad play to play Scissor still. I mean, Bullet Punch is still pretty strong, and there's a lot of sustain with it. And now you could see it doing a little bit more damage after some of those buffs. But I'm looking right at the side of V1, and honestly, this comp scares me if I'm Keyblades, because there's a lot of CC, whether it's that Crustle, whether it's a Fire Spin Delphox, the Metagross who can knock you up, the Eldegoss who can just slow you down or stop your dives from diving in. There's just a lot to be kind of fearful and try to avoid.
Yeah, there's so much safety in this composition that V1 has put together. It's really going to need some critical teamwork from Keyblades Unite to knock out any of these characters, really, because Whaley's going to have a nice time with this red buff in this top side, continuing to shut Mari down. Meanwhile, Silent on the top side, I do want to pick out this A9 as my little bit of an X factor for this game, because I feel like Metagross has a really rough matchup into A9, because it's a little bit of a sitting target for Darin to land those Avalanche Blizzard combos on top of it. It's really going to also kind of shut down Rustic's ability to walk the board as well. So I do like this adaptation here from Keyblades.
Yeah, and not to mention that Crustal's already online here again. So 2 games in a row where V1 has been able to get that Crustal online before the 850 birds. I think that's absolutely massive if you're them. But here we go. We got a little bit of engage. This little Beldum's going to go down. Footed 5-figure state of the space. It said smack. Ghost Snorlax able to grab the KO a little bit early there. Scyther living very dangerously low, able to grab some citrus berries, get some health back up. And I mean, V1, I mean, you probably want that to go a little bit better. Probably like to keep Beldum online, but unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And Snorlax might look to try to be a little cheeky and grab another secure, but not too bad of a first little engage there in that first laning phase.
Yeah, Keyblades Unite is probably pretty happy with those events, all things considered. Mari looked dangerously close to going down, but was able to ek out of danger, and they were able to find the knockout on Silent. And you're already seeing Darren already level 6 and just immediately shutting down a dive that Rustic was trying to perform there, completely shutting V1 out of this middle farm. And Keyblades Unite, they're looking really strong right now. This Venusaur is already online at level 7, and Silent, unlike last time, is level 5 instead of level 7 when this 7.5 minute mark comes around. So Keyblades Unite looking for a little bit of a redemption story here, and Locke does go for the Mystical Fire Flame Charge moveset. So that is actually super interesting, and I feel like I feel like seeing that is going to be pretty happy for Mari, because that's going to be a big target for that Scyther to focus. Nice knockout on that Snorlax on top.
Offers a little bit more damage and like burst damage, I guess, but less CC overall. But I think if you're V1, I think you have a lot of CC already, so it's not something that you need. But here we go. 7-minute objectives have entered the fray. It is a Registeel on the bottom, so both teams likely will be highly interested in taking this first basement objective, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. All 5 members of Keyblades Unite are down here and ready to grip it and rip it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just another huge Psychic Solaire there from Liko to shut Keyblades Unite from walking up. Rustic landed a really critical wall there that a lot of the members of Keyblades Unite had to use their ejects to get around. So when Liko sets up the stage, absolutely, they do deliver. V1 trying to land these scores here and get rid of this tier 1 pad as quickly as possible. Getting a knockout on the way out as well, and Locke already super online here at level 10.
That is massive over on the side of version 1. Hey, and not only that, but you have this Metagross who is now ticked into level 9. Will have access to that Compute and Crush, as well as their full plethora of damage that offers. We have Trevenant up here getting that Wood Hammer onto Metagross, but Metagross, here we go, starting to mash on in and getting a huge chunk of damage on Keyblades. They're going to back up a little bit, wait till the cavalry has arrived, and it's starting to get here. I think they're looking to maybe start this engage is Keyblades. Snorlax is kind of maybe looking for a little bit of an angle. Trevenant finds the angle. They push that Metagross into the lane, but Metagross is able to just kind of walk away from that engage.
Yeah, just a little bit of poke from both sides here. Liko was able to catch a lot of that bottom area farm and even snatch a little bit of our blue buff right there as well. Actually, no, okay, they don't snatch the blue buff. I thought they snatched the blue buff. They were in the jungle. But getting really big is this Espeon as well, and Keyblades Unite really needs to make this 4v5 happen. Something. Verdant Anger is unleashed. The Fanciful Fireworks still go a little bit live, but that's not going to stop the Mystical Fires from landing. Locke gets a 2-piece right there, make it 3, possibly make it 4, but Liko comes in and cleans up the A9. Nice beam to really put a lot of low health bars on V1, and Mari could look like they could possibly pop off at the moment. That's one reset right there, finding Whaley, but the Psychic Flare does stop them in their tracks, and Locke gets away scot-free.
Yeah, that was some lockstep and Keyblades Unite right there for version 1. But here we go. Yeah, 3 members still up here for Keyblades. They are going to have to watch out. Ninetales gets stopped by the Rock Tomb, but the only tomb they're finding is one back in the Pokemon Center because they are going all the way back to base. We have another Rock Tomb come out, trying to zone this Venusaur and Snorlax out, and we got a little bit of a power nap in the middle of the fray here, but Venusaur living very dangerously, going to have to base and try to get their health back before this next engage. But this Regieleki is still up here, and we already have another objective in this basement path, but neither team really taking any interest to that just yet.
Yeah, that knockout on Silent was really big XP for that Venusaur, and is going to continue to even this XP lead. That version 1 does have both carries online at level 12, but Mari has found level 12 as well on this bottom side. Looking all of our on the top side as well, it is 3v3. The A9 is able to get away from danger with that eject, and Keyblades Unite looking like they're rotating for this basement Reggie. But on the top side, Snorlax is found out. Espeon and the Metagross are going to be taking that top lane objective. So Keyblades Unite really needs to make something happen here.
Yeah, and I don't know if anything is going to happen just yet because we have the fanciful fireworks down. This objective is going down, and it is, again, going over to the side of version 1. This time, the Eldegoss. We do have a Verdant Anger out from this Venusaur. They don't have the beam just yet. The beam is a little bit, splits the uprights, doesn't quite get all the damage that they want, but it's actually a lock again with that huge Mystical Fire grabbing the Venusaur. Trevenant also going down here, so big engage for version 1 as this Regieleki is starting to push into their T2 goal. But no harm, no foul, because it looks like Keyblades is able to clear that in no time. And wow, Ribbon, 221 to 40 here, 15 seconds until the final stretch when Rayquaza hits the map, and points are doubled. But right now, version 1 looks like they are in complete and utterly control of this game.
Yeah, girls always just do it best. What can I say? Whaley getting that secure for their team is going to give them this huge defense and special defense buff, especially on characters like Metagross and Crustle. That's a lot of defenses at the moment. It's going to be really hard for Keyblades Unite to crack that egg, or should I say crack that crab. Making some Rangoons right here is free, and finding them out. Candle, it does tick into that level 13. Mari also finding 13 as well. Those are going to be some big plus upgrades, but Locke already inching close to level 14. These mystical fires are going to hit like trucks.
Yeah, and the thing that didn't really hit like a truck was that Phantom Forest. Barely hits Liko and barely does any damage to it. So really good there on the side of V if you're on V1. But we have a huge engage. This crab is getting gooned in the central area. They're going down. 24-second KO timer. It doesn't really matter. We have 3 members down on the side of Keyblades Unite. And just in a blink of an eye, it's just this Venusaur gone. And now version 1 is going to be able to take this Rayquaza off the map. KO streak of 2 for the Espeon before they go down, and this one is all but finished if you're the Keyblades. And wow, just like that, version 1 is likely gonna take this set 2-0, Ribbon.
Oh, what a performance here from version 1. Rustic surviving so much damage, and Whaley coming in with the perfectly timed Cotton Crash to get them out of dodge. But even though they did eventually fall, I feel like Keyblades Unite pumped way too much resources into that tank, and Rustic was happy to tank that aggro.
Wow, yeah, 221 to 40. What a Ray fight engage. And just like you said, Ribbon, it seemed like that defense buff at the end was just absolutely crucial, because you saw it there a couple of times. It seemed like that might have been the difference between, getting KO'd or staying alive, because there are a couple characters that were, taking a little bit of damage there, might have gone down had they not gotten that buff.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like I said, the Phantom Forest did go a little bit wide there for Keyblades Unite. Unfortunately, just not able to find the picks. And Candle did deliver on the damage, but unfortunately, the last Mon standing after the chaos that was that team fight, Locke. How broken is Delphox, Kyle? How broken is Delphox?
I mean, you could do it one way, you could do it the other way. It doesn't matter. It's still strong. I mean, you choose your poison, right? Like, depending on what your team may need at the time, you go that flame charge mystical fire. It does damage. It has huge burst. It has objective secure. You go the fire spin, fire blast route. You have a massive amount of CC, just crazy amount of damage over time. And then you just add that crazy unite in of that fanciful fireworks. It's a tough code to crack. I don't understand why it doesn't get played or people don't complain about it more. Just the other day, it was like the first time I played it in like a year, and I was just like, this thing's broken. Like, I feel like I'm a god playing it.
Yeah, once you really get access to level 11 and that mystical fire plus, just getting those resets feels so great. And then once you hit level 13 and get that little bit of a speed boost behind the flame charge, you really just do feel untouchable, and you really feel like you can just dip, duck, and dodge anything. Locke was really just playing right on the danger's edge. I even saw them flame charge one of the Venu beams that did end up going out and only getting clipped by the Verdant Anger in that team fight as well. So Locke really playing with danger and putting a fire underneath V1 because whew, that Delphox was clean and burning.
Yeah, I mean, definitely call that Firefox Mozilla. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of action coming up. I mean, even though it was a 2-0, it never really